He was always there, but no one ever really saw him, the kind of student who faded into the background, unnoticed, never raised his hand, never spoke out of turn. A face in the crowd, just another name on the attendance sheet. But if you looked closer, something wasn't right. Classmates walked past him every day, never realizing they were inches away from a nightmare. Teachers graded his papers, never suspecting what lay hidden between the lines. Neighbors exchanged polite nods, never knowing the horrors trapped within his walls. And then, people started disappearing. What happens when the quiet one is hiding the darkest secrets of all? This is the true story of the student no one noticed until it was too late. His name was Daniel Reeves. To most, he was just another student, quiet, reserved, always keeping to himself. But what no one knew was that behind closed doors, his thoughts were anything but ordinary. He had an obsession, an urge that grew stronger every day. And soon, the world would see just how far he was willing to go. For years, he moved through life unnoticed, until one night, the silence was shattered. What turned this quiet student into a name whispered in fear? And how did no one see the warning signs? Stay with us as we uncover the disturbing truth behind Daniel Reeves, the student who walked among them, hiding a secret no one could imagine. Before the headlines, before the horror, before the bodies were found, Daniel Reeves was just another student, a name on a school roster, a face lost in the crowd. Teachers described him as quiet, intelligent, but distant. He never caused trouble, never broke the rules. In a school of over 1,000 students, he was invisible, and that's exactly how he wanted it. But silence doesn't mean innocence, and those who took a closer look saw something they couldn't explain. He rarely spoke. When he did, his words were few, calculated. Classmates recall moments that at the time seemed strange but harmless. The way he sat at the back of the room, always watching. The way he never laughed, never reacted. The way his notebooks were filled, not with class notes, but with something else. He never invited anyone to his home. No one ever truly knew him. But there were clues, signs that, in hindsight, should have set off alarms. But no one said anything, because no one believed Daniel Reeves was capable of real violence. Until one day, he proved them wrong. The discovery in the woods changed everything. Buried beneath a layer of damp earth was a body. She had been missing for 6 days, but the way she was found told investigators this was no ordinary crime. Whoever did this had taken their time. The town was shaken. Parents kept their children inside. College students refused to walk alone at night. No one felt safe. But Daniel Reeves, he was calm, almost uninterested. Police intensified their investigation, and soon they found something chilling. When detectives searched through the victim's social media, one name kept appearing: Daniel Reeves. Her friends barely remembered him. He was just some guy in the background, they said. A classmate, maybe, but not someone we really knew. But investigators knew this was more than coincidence, so they dug deeper. And that's when they found his private messages, hundreds of them, all unread, all sent to her. They started harmless, friendly, but as time passed, the tone shifted. The last message? "You can't ignore me forever." It was sent just hours before she disappeared. But this was just the beginning, because what investigators uncovered next was far worse than anyone imagined. What investigators uncovered next would haunt them forever. Inside Daniel Reeves' apartment, officers found a collection of notebooks, hundreds of pages filled with thoughts too disturbing to read aloud, diagrams, timelines, names. But one discovery sent chills through the entire department. Hidden behind his bedroom wall was a box. Inside were trophies. Each item belonged to someone, and soon detectives realized this wasn't his first victim. The deeper they looked, the darker the truth became. Police matched the objects to cold cases from surrounding towns, disappearances that were never solved, families left without answers. Daniel Reeves had been killing for years. He had perfected the art of going unnoticed. No record, no suspicion, just another quiet student, until the evidence told a different story. And when questioned, Daniel Reeves said only one thing: "I was always right in front of you." The evidence against Daniel Reeves was overwhelming, but when he was taken into custody, he showed no fear, no remorse, just silence. During the trial, prosecutors revealed chilling details, the patterns, the methods, the reason no one suspected him for so long. His victims? All chosen carefully. People on the fringes, the unnoticed, the ones who wouldn't be missed right away. The jury took only a few hours to reach a verdict. Guilty, life in prison without parole. Justice was served, but some questions were never answered. In his final interview before being transferred to a maximum security facility, Daniel Reeves was asked if there were more victims, if more bodies were still out there. He only smiled. To this day, investigators believe there are more names, more families still waiting for answers. But Daniel Reeves? He has never spoken another word about it. What do you think? Were there more victims? Could anyone have stopped him sooner? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more true crime stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because some stories should never be forgotten.